Welcome back. Now you've had a chance to identify those tasks that your kids could do if properly trained. These represent your training opportunities for the next couple of weeks. Let's talk about what that training would look like. First, it's important for the training to happen one-on-one. You'll have your child's complete attention during that time, but you also don't want her to feel embarrassed if she messes up the training in front of one of her siblings. Think of yourself as a classroom teacher. Pick a time when both of you are in the adult ego state, calm and not rushed. Decide the task that you're going to train on and then break it down into smaller steps. Maybe it's unloading the silverware from the dishwasher, which even little kids can do using a step stool. So explain and demonstrate each step in the process. Then let your child practice each step. This is a time when you want to give plenty of encouragement. Remember to focus on effort and improvement. Your child won't do the task perfectly and may not do it the way you do. That's okay. You can set up guidelines and certain requirements, but try to allow as much flexibility as you can. Let's look at an example, doing laundry. So for a younger child, maybe 4 or 5 years old, we could train that child on how to separate the laundry, separate the darks from the lights from the whites. We might train them on folding socks or folding towels, washcloths, anything that would be easy for their little hands. That will give your child a big sense of accomplishment, and because we've encouraged him along the way, he'll know he's really contributing in a meaningful way. For an older child, it might be doing their own laundry. Again, if they don't already know, you can train on how to separate the colors, but also how to use the washing machine, when to add bleach, when to add fabric softener, how much laundry detergent, which cycles to use. All of those aspects come into training. For your older kids, they may grumble and groan a little bit, but deep down, they really will feel a much stronger sense of capability and self-sufficiency. Remember, our job description is to prepare our kids to go out into the adult world and function successfully. For that to happen, we have to take time for training all along. And think how liberated you'll feel. When your kids start picking up some of the responsibilities you've been handling, that's awesome. But I also want to be real about this. This whole training thing takes time and energy on your part. But remember, the time you spend doing the training on the front end will truly give you more time on the back end. And on the flip side, let's consider what will happen if we don't invest time to do the training. Well, the biggest thing is your kids aren't going to feel that sense of significance that we talked about, that positive power that comes from being capable and self-sufficient and contributing in meaningful ways. But it also sets up a scenario where the child expects to be waited on and catered to. That expectation that you'll take care of everything sets the stage for a big-time attitude of entitlement. And if we don't nip this entitlement right now, it will continue until adolescence and adulthood. And think about your child's future spouse. Doing things for them that they're perfectly capable of doing for themselves lays the groundwork for a stressful relationship down the road. Our job, remember, is to help our kids move from dependence to independence. And by taking time for training, we do that. In this take time for training process, be prepared for mess ups along the way. You know, as part of the laundry drill, you may have soap coming out of the washing machine or some other calamity. Mess ups are part of the process. The important thing is how we react to them. We want to avoid getting frustrated or criticizing or overcorrecting what they do. If we're calm and patient and focus on solving the problems, our kids will be more likely to try it again, even if they're really frustrated in the moment. The Tips for Training Success in your workbook has plenty of advice for how to carry out the training. But there's one really important tip I want to mention here. We want training to be successful for you and for your child. So we recommend that you don't start with a topic or task that is emotionally charged. For a young child, you wouldn't want to start out with potty training because there's usually a lot of emotion around that, particularly for the parent. You want to start out with tasks that the child would find fun and interesting and exciting. So a lot of kids love to use power equipment, so it might be vacuuming or using a dustbuster. For older kids, it might be using the lawnmower or a leaf blower. There are a lot of different things that you can select from, but just make sure it's something that the child will find interesting. Obviously, we want this to be a positive experience the first time, so the child will be more open to training in the future. Along the same lines, for kids of all ages, I wouldn't start out with family contributions necessarily. Instead, maybe start in the kitchen. It's a great place to learn new skills, and most kids enjoy cooking or prepping with you in the kitchen. Or maybe for younger kids, it's a self-care activity, letting them get dressed independently. When you're starting out, just stay away from the tasks that might invite power struggles. Training is very much a journey. You are the trainer, and by taking time for training, your kids will be more capable and self-sufficient. Plus, you'll take some monkeys off your back. Next up, we'll explore whether you may be raising a praise junkie. This is must-have information in today's all-about-me world. I'll see you in the next lesson.